The Simpson football team knocked off the defending conference champions on the road last week. This week, it's homecoming with the Cohawks coming to town. We're joined now by head coach Matt Jeter. Coach, let's jump right into it. Last week, an exciting 37-36 win over Wartburg. Just talk about your reactions to that game.
Oh, exciting. You know, it was a big win for our program, for our campus community, everybody involved. We needed everybody to be part of that win, offense, defense, special teams, and to pull it out in the fashion that we did in overtime was just a great feeling.
And obviously it's pretty well documented now, the big two-point conversion try ran the play kind of known as the Philly special. What led to that play call? What led to that decision? You said there was no hesitation whatsoever. You were going for the win no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Coach Hoff and I talked before that drive started, so we knew we was going for two. He usually keeps about 3 to 4 plays in his two-point conversions, and that was the play we decided to go with. The guys have been working on it all week, so they were really confident and then courageous to execute that to the T.
You know, that was obviously the play that got a lot of recognition, but there were so many plays leading up to that, especially 4th and 10 on that overtime drive. It went through 3 incompletions. You got 4th and 10. Krieger needs to scramble to get out of the way of the rush, and then he's able to find Cam Bunting in the middle of the field, and he's somehow able to find the end zone. Just talk about the kind of the wherewithal of those two players on that particular play.
Yeah, big time play. I think, you know, when the play broke down a little bit, and I think that's what you're starting to see from Tanner Krieger now. He's starting to come into himself a little bit now, own the offense a little bit, own the team, and kind of moved out of the pocket. As he's getting sacked, throws back across the grain, finds Cam Bunting, one of our war daddies on our team, makes a couple guys miss and scores a touchdown. So, I mean, you forget about that play when you talk about the Philly special that we ran, but that was the play that led us to the Philly special.
And the final drive that led to overtime to begin with. The offense really had struggled for most of the second half until that final drive. Throw a touchdown pass with 16 seconds left. To me, that kind of speaks to the never quit attitude of this team.
Yeah, a lot of grit. You know, a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, I think. And we go every Thursday. Thursday we go through a 2-minute drill. Never done one when we go 98 yards away yet, so but we usually go a 2-minute drill, some type of situation. So the guys were confident that we can get that done, and I think you even go back a little further on that, Brian. I think when they scored that touchdown and we took that 2-point conversion back to keep that thing within 1 score throughout the fourth quarter, because the offense was, you know, not finding their rhythm as much in the fourth quarter. That just kind of kept us alive for the whole game.
You talk about that 2-point return, so. It was a huge 3-point swing in the game, because if Wartburg is able to make that extra point, it's 30-21 at that point. It's a 2-possession game. You're not able to go down and tie it, but you're able to. Chris Bowles gets a hand up, knocks down that extra point attempt. Ryan Lair has the presence of mind to pick it up and run it back 100 yards for the big 2 points. Is that a play? Obviously, that's not something you draw up, but is that something you talk about that, hey, if that ball's on the ground, you might as well give it a shot and return it? Because it looked like in the replay, everybody kind of stood around for a second, and Lair kind of picked it up and said, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. When he did, we don't talk about that much, but we talk about those guys as being football players. Like in the ball's incomplete in practice, we want to scoop and score. Once he did that, and I think if you watch the tape again on that, guys were very smart in that. No one blocked each other in the back. Everybody's kind of stopping and just making sure guys run by him. And I think I'm telling Ryan to cut. So he must have heard me say cut, and he cut across the field and ends up getting it back for two-point conversion for us.
Yeah, when you look back at that Wartburg game one more time, we talked about a lot of guys. One guy that we didn't really talk about that had a huge game, Joe McNally. He's kind of developed into that guy that you're able to throw the ball up to on the sideline that can just go up and get balls over smaller defensive backs. Yes. Talk about his maturation as a wide receiver over the last 2 years.
You know, he's coming along big time right now. He's one of our big time receivers right now. He's 6'4", 210 pounds, and not many corners that could jump with him. Anybody. So we tell Tanner to throw the ball a foot over his head and go up and get it, and that's what he's starting to do right now. So he's turning into a big thing. That's how he practices. He's making those catches in practice and one-on-ones. He makes them pass Skelly. He makes them team. So again, another guy that's starting to really come into his own and really help our program.
It was a tremendous game, great game to be a part of. What does a win like that mean for you and the program?
Yeah, this is a big win. I think it kind of goes back to what we've been building here over the years. I think it goes back to our winter workouts, our 5 o'clock a.m. workouts, our weightlifting, our power cleans, doing 20 sets of 2. All those things kind of came to fruition that game, and I think the guys were proud of them. We were excited about their win. I think we expected to win. And I think that's the kind of the picture we've been painting for the program for 3 years, and now we just want to continue to build upon that and say, hey, that's done now. Let's continue to move on, move the program forward.
So that win gets you to 3-1, 2-0 in the American Rivers Conference. We've got homecoming this week. We've got Co coming to town. What do you see on tape from the Co-Hawks?
Co's talented football program. If you watch those guys, they're getting better and better each week. They're coming to get a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, so they're starting to come in kind of to their own the last 2 weeks there. So Coach Staker does a great job with those guys. They got some tradition there, winning the championship in 16. So they're going to come. I know we got their attention, and they got our attention as well. So we're ready to go for homecoming on Saturday at 1 p.m.
If you can't make it here in person, make sure to watch the live stream online, SimpsonAthletics.com. Tim Lone and Coach Paul Davis will have the call.